Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all doing well. So we are moving on again with the silicone inlays and I'm obsessed with this video. Guys, I need a new vocabulary. It's getting out of hand. I cannot say obsessed 50 times in a video. So yeah, I'm really loving the results of these, but I'm telling you something else for free. The next video is something I've never tried before. I've never done it before. The results are a wow. So yeah, I'm loving this video, but I'm loving the next one even more, which is terrible. I don't want you to skip this one. So yeah, stay tuned and I hope you love it as much as I do and enjoy. Bye. So the mold used in this video to create these gorgeous pendants is the Pendant Mold by Moulds and Shapes. You would have seen me use this so many times on my channel. It is perfect for what I'm looking for. Now, I know I said in previous videos that when you create inlays, you want to think about the depth. How deep is your inlay? How deep is your mold? But actually, in this video, we're not going to worry about that at all because we have got 4 inlays here that are pretty much airing on the big side. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay them in and actually hope for the best. We are going kind of off-centered, abstract, half on, half off kind of effect. We're really not worrying about it being absolute perfection. You know, handmade with love and all. We are using Vista Resin in this video and this is Vista Turbo. This is their fast curing resin. So when you're doing like a 2-layered project like this takes 2 layers of resin. This is a perfect resin because you can get it all done in one day. And you just saw me there use a little bit of tape because there was a little bit of debris in these molds. Not much, but just enough to make a difference. So just running some sellotape around really makes sure that your mold is super clean before you use it. Now, my method here is that I want the tops, the faces of these molds to be crystal clear. And because I'm using Vista Turbo, which is a fast cure resin, I tend to get more bubbles in this resin if I'm using it as a clear product. If I'm adding pigment, you don't see bubbles anyway. Whereas like Vista Cascade and Vista Ocean, they're a much thicker, kind of longer to cure resin. So they have more time to heat up and work their own bubbles out. But I have found with Vista Turbo, they need a little bit of extra heat, a little bit of extra help to get those bubbles out. So my method here, as you can see on screen, was just to add a little bit of resin, a little bit of heat, bit of resin, a bit of heat, etc., so on and so forth, until the bottom of those pendants was completely covered in resin. So you can see at the moment not enough resin to fill the bases and it's pulling away from the edges. I do not want that to happen. So I just keep kind of playing it by eyeballing it until the bottom of those pendants has got the thinnest coat of resin and none of it is pulling away from the edges. Now, as I did sort of similarly in the last video, you would have seen me use silicone inlays in resin. I give my inlays a coat of resin before putting them in. And the reason I do that is just because they're textured. They've got a pattern on there. And what I don't want is air bubbles. Air bubbles are not your friend in some cases. However, because this is ocean themed resin, we get away with it. If there are any bubbles, we just get away with it because it's ocean aesthetic. We can just say it's ocean aesthetic and it's fine. But yeah, again, I was looking for random placement, random everything on this. I wasn't worried about the fact that this inlay is twice the size of the pendant that I'm putting it into because I know that whatever pattern, this is a trust the process creation, trust the process video. Whatever pattern this silicone leaves in this resin, it's going to be beautiful. It doesn't matter that it's half in, half out, hanging out the edges and things like that. It doesn't matter. Similarly with this shell, the bottom of the shell is hanging out of the pendant. Really doesn't matter. We are looking for anything, any subtle embossing will still create the most stunning results. And I already know this because I've done this before. A lot of us have tried this before and we all know anything like this, it only has to be in a little bit and you'll get some embossed in that resin and that's where the magic happens. So yeah, you can see me here now. Those 2 starfish did actually fit these molds perfectly. but I didn't want perfectly, so I pulled them out again. I pulled them out again and sat them off to one side because I am purposely going random. I'm purposely going random. So this is 5 hours later. This resin has cured and I am able to pull these silicone inlays out. And straight away I was just, the embossing, the detail from those starfish especially. Those starfish are soon becoming my favourite inlays so far this year. So of course we're going Chameleon Powders. We absolutely have to. I am using the Let's Resin Chameleon Powders. If you've been with me a few months now, you would have seen these over and over and over. They are my absolute favourite chameleon powders. Now, I know I am a Let's Resin ambassador and I am a Silicone ambassador for Let's Resin, but they are beautiful. They are beautiful. Honestly, I wouldn't gush with love this much if they weren't. And so many of you have gone on to buy them and agree that they are just stunning chameleon powders. Now, the thing is, with the two colours that I have chosen, the blue is the least chameleon. So the blue doesn't have a super colour shift as much as the others, which is why I really wanted to go blue and teal in these, because what I don't want is for my blue chameleon powder ocean themed resin to be green or gold or brown. I really wanted those blues to pop, and the blue and the teal in the Let's Resin Chameleon range, they will do that for you. If you want ocean, those two colours are the two colours. So yeah, I stuck with it and I actually decided to not only brush the indentation, the embossed area with the chameleon powders, but I actually ended up using some Arteza mica powder. Now, mica powder and chameleon powders can both be used in this technique, like the cling film technique. Even though I don't use cling film, I use polyurethane painter's drop sheet. It's a similar kind of principle. You've embossed the surface, you've peeled back your polyurethane or you've peeled back your silicone inlay, and now you're going to use your powders to sprinkle over the top. Now, you can use mica powder, you don't have to have chameleon. You can use mica powder and you will still get a stunning result. But here we are. I did end up trying out some of the Arteza. I think it was called Azure Blue. Azure. My eyes. Oh, guys, I need glasses. Yeah, Azure Blue. And I added some of the chameleon, kind of mixed it up a bit, and just to see if there was much of a difference between the two. But yeah, really, really loving it. Just make sure you get in all of the nooks and crannies. You don't want too much powder, and then just dust off any excess that you can. And like I said in the last video as well, like when you're running a theme, like I'm running an ocean theme at the moment. I know I'm going to be doing ocean themed resin, Jesmonite, whatever I'm doing, I'm going to be doing that for the next few weeks. Sometimes one video leads onto another video. Like I'll be doing this, like I was doing this. As soon as I demolded, I was like, oh my gosh, this has given me an idea. And that is going to be coming up in the next video because straight away I felt inspired. So even though I've written a list of ideas I'd like to try, this video then inspired another video. And that's what is so handy about being set within a theme. It just is easier. It really helps you plan ahead and I am loving it. So the results from this video truly were inspiring me. And yeah, follow for the next video because oh, stop it now. Something I've not tried before on my channel is coming up in the next video, inspired by this video, and I hope you love that equally. Now, the one thing to know that when you are doing the cling or the polyurethane technique or this kind of technique, it does tend to push the resin out to the sides, so you might get some walls that are higher than your mold because the resin sets and it cures, and then you might get kind of like dodgy edges. So just be careful to make sure that those edges are lowered back down. You can trim them off or, you know, peel them back, whatever you need to do to get your resin down below the level of the edge of the mold. Otherwise, like you'll see, you end up with some trim off, or you might have to sand your edges. This is particularly notorious when you use the cling technique or the polyurethane technique. Not so bad when you use inlays, but yeah. I am using, again, Vista Turbo to fill these up. Like I said, this is a 1-day project. You can get up in the morning, start this, and it will be done and cured by the evening. That is why I am obsessed with this resin. But I am using the Vista Black Liquid Pigment. It is a dream. It mixes into the resin so beautifully and fast as well, just to cover the backs. Now, if you are new here, if you're still here, if you haven't seen my channel or any other channel that does this kind of resin work, black pigment is the one. Black pigment will bring your mica powders to life. It will bring your chameleon powders to life. If you use any other color, they tend to come out a little bit duller, and yeah, black. Just go black. Okay, demold. Oh, are you ready for this? Just stunning. Absolutely stunning. The detail that silicone picked up when I first made the silicone mold from the polymer clay. If you've missed those videos, go check them out. I'll have them linked. Unbelievable. The detail on that starfish, it just looks real. Now, considering this was in a big bag of cheap plastic sea creatures, this starfish came through. It is beautiful. Now, this one here, I think this is the chameleon powder in the center and the mica powder around the edges. So I think the only difference really is that the chameleon powder does shimmer. It's gorgeous. Like, it's got a gorgeous glittery shimmer, whereas the mica powder does shimmer, but it's the edge has been taken off of it a little bit. So if I am doing this technique, I will all day long choose chameleon over mica, just because the results are that little bit extra sparkly and shimmery, and of course color shifting. Most chameleon powders are color shifting, and you will get 2 to 3, even 4 shades of different color in your pieces, especially when you're using this embossed design. But yeah, this is my bubble one. A lot of bubbles in here, but we are forgiven because it's ocean themed aesthetic. It's just an excuse, guys, to get away with it. But I am loving it. You know, the fact that I just place these inlays in randomly, we still get gorgeous results. And this is where we have to trust the process. Put it off to the side. You can put it in the center if you want. If you want it symmetrical and deadly center and, you know, perfectly perfect, you can put them in the center. But actually just having them slightly off to one side, or left, right, up, down, half on, half off, like it still gives you a unique piece that cannot be replicated. And that is what I love about these. They look like fluffy clouds, cushions. They just look stunning. I will never get bored of this technique. Never, not ever get bored of this technique. So I hope you have really enjoyed this video, and if you have, do not forget to give me that thumbs up and do leave me a comment down below. So all of the details for everything I've used in this video will be down below. So that includes the Let's Resin silicone, that includes the Let's Resin chameleon powders, that includes Vista resin, as well as molds and shapes. I am an affiliate for all 3, so I have discount codes for Let's Resin 10%, 5% discount code for molds and shapes, and with Vista I have a code that gives you quadruple points on your order. So do check out the description box if you like anything that you've seen here. Of course, it will all be detailed, linked below. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all, and guys, oh my gosh, I'm obsessed with the next. I am obsessed with what came from this video and the inspiration I got from this video and the next video. So yeah, I hope you will join me for that. I appreciate you all, and I will see you then. Bye.